Insider, Shedeur Sanders made shocking Ravens request on draft day. If you were kind of on the fence about how you felt about Cleveland Browns quarterback Shedeur Sanders before this, you might not be anymore. At least if you're a Baltimore Ravens fan. ESPN's Adam Schefter reported just hours ahead of the Browns traveling to face the Ravens in Week 2 that Sanders told the Ravens not to take him in the 5th round of the 2025 NFL Draft. A surprising draft day twist led to Shedeur Sanders winding up with the Browns, Schefter wrote on his official X account on September 14. Ravens planned to take Shedeur Sanders in the 5th round, but before Baltimore could turn the card, the former Colorado star let it be known that he didn't want to be on a roster with Lamar Jackson, where he would be a backup. It's an incredible thing to think of, a 5th-round pick asking a team not to pick him to play backup quarterback to a 2-time NFL Most Valuable Player. Sanders was eventually taken by the Browns in the 5th round, number 144 overall. Sanders is currently the emergency 3rd quarterback for Cleveland behind starter and former Ravens Super Bowl MVP Joe Flacco and 2025 3rd-round pick Dillon Gabriel. Draft day is always a theater of unpredictability. Names called, phones buzzing, tears shed, dreams crystallizing in real time. But behind the stage lights and ESPN graphics lies another world. The whispers, the negotiations, the private conversations that rarely see the light of day. In April, as the NFL draft clock ticked away, an insider revealed a moment that turned heads in league circles. Shedeur Sanders, the son of Deion Primetime Sanders, Colorado legend, and one of the most polarizing young quarterbacks in football, made a shocking request. Not to his agent. Not to his family. Not even to the Cleveland Browns, who would later secure his rights. No, the request was directed to the Baltimore Ravens, a team that wasn't expected to be in play at all. And it wasn't about money. It wasn't even about a jersey number. It was about legacy. The War Room. Inside Baltimore's draft headquarters, the Ravens brass were busy dissecting contingencies. General Manager Eric DeCosta had his board neatly aligned, with positional needs highlighted in yellow and value picks circled in red. Head coach John Harbaugh leaned back in his chair, sipping his coffee with the calmness of a man who had seen draft chaos for decades. The Ravens weren't expected to go quarterback in the 1st round. They had Lamar Jackson, their franchise cornerstone, their MVP, their electric engine. But a phone call from Sanders' camp came in less than an hour before Baltimore's pick at number 22. Shedeur wants Baltimore, the voice on the other end told DeCosta. The room went silent. Excuse me? DeCosta asked, thinking he misheard. Shedeur says if the Ravens are willing to take him, he'll make it worth their while. He believes he can learn under Lamar. He believes Baltimore is where he belongs. The war room turned into a low hum of voices. Nobody had expected Sanders to angle for Baltimore, especially when quarterback-needy teams like the Raiders, Broncos, and Patriots had all been in play. Why Baltimore? On the surface, Sanders' request didn't make sense. Why join a team with a superstar QB already entrenched? Why risk becoming a clipboard holder when other franchises would hand him the keys from day one? But Sanders' thinking was different. According to the insider, Shedeur had spent weeks studying Baltimore film. He admired Lamar's improvisation but also noticed the hits Lamar took, the relentless pressure, and the media narratives that never seemed to give him full credit. Shedeur saw himself as Lamar's eventual successor, the insider explained. Not in a disrespectful way. More like a torch-passing moment. He thought Baltimore could be his Kansas City, the way Patrick Mahomes sat behind Alex Smith before taking over. He wanted stability. He wanted culture. And he wanted to rewrite what it meant to be a black quarterback in this league alongside Lamar, before eventually taking the reins. It was audacious. It was bold. It was Shedeur. Draft night drama. When the Ravens' pick approached, cameras panned the stage, analysts debated offensive line prospects, and fans in purple jerseys waved signs begging for another receiver. But behind the curtain, the Ravens had a decision to make. DeCosta leaned toward Harbaugh. What if he falls? What if we take him? Harbaugh smirked. You're really considering it, aren't you? DeCosta nodded. Kid's got moxie. He's not afraid of competition. And you know how players respond to someone with that kind of conviction. But the Ravens also knew what it would mean. Drafting Sanders would ignite a media firestorm, suggestions of tension with Lamar, speculation about timelines, a distraction in a locker room already chasing Super Bowl dreams. The phone buzzed again. It was Sanders' agent. Shedeur says he'll play wherever he's drafted, but he wants you to know, Baltimore is his choice. If you don't take him, make sure Lamar knows it was out of respect for him. That message stuck with Harbaugh. In the end, the Ravens passed on Sanders. They bolstered another position of need, as most expected. And within minutes, the Browns would shock the league by snagging Sanders with a bold move of their own. Fallout. When word of Sanders' Ravens request leaked weeks later, the football world reacted in waves. Media take 1. Confidence or arrogance. Some pundits praised Sanders' foresight. This kid isn't just thinking about contracts, he's thinking about culture, one analyst said. Others, however, called it arrogance. He hasn't played a single NFL snap, and he's already plotting to replace Lamar Jackson? That's dangerous ego. Media take 2. The Deion factor. Speculation grew around whether Deion Sanders, never one to shy from bold moves, pushed his son toward this gambit. Some insiders claimed Deion encouraged Shedeur to find his Mahomes moment. Others insisted Shedeur acted independently, surprising even his father with the request. Media take 3. Lamar's response. Lamar Jackson, when asked about it during a training camp presser, smiled and said, "Man, Shedeur's family. He's confident, I respect that. If he ever came here, I'd show him the ropes. Ain't no bad blood. But y'all know I'm not going anywhere." It was classic Lamar, diplomatic, unbothered, yet subtly reinforcing his grip on Baltimore's throne. What could have been? The alternate history practically wrote itself. Imagine Sanders in Baltimore, donning the number 7 jersey, shadowing Lamar through practices, absorbing Greg Roman's, or his successors, offensive schemes, preparing for a moment 2 or 3 years down the line. The Ravens could have positioned themselves as the league's most dynamic QB pipeline, Lamar now, Shedeur later. Instead, Sanders landed in Cleveland, thrust into a quarterback carousel with Joe Flacco and others, navigating uncertainty rather than the stability he craved. One league executive put it bluntly. If the Ravens had taken him, Shedeur's career arc would have been set. He'd have time, mentorship, and an eventual path to the throne. No. He's got to fight in Cleveland's chaos. That request might go down as the smartest thing he ever said, or the saddest missed opportunity. The insider's final note. The insider who leaked the story added one final detail, one that reveals just how personal Sanders' Ravens fascination was. Shedeur told the Ravens that he grew up watching Lamar, not just as a fan of his game, but as proof.